Welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, I'm joined by Jacob Villejoin of the band Strange Joy. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's going on, Caffeinated Crew? I'm joined by Jacob from the band Strange Joy, the Houston boys. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. We were talking a little bit earlier. I'm very hungry now that we have gotten into the Cajun food talk. Yeah. I hate it when I have people from like food places that are they bring memory to me. Like I've spent a lot of time in Houston. I've spent time in New Orleans and in the South, like growing up, and up here, it's wonderful. It's great. I love everybody that I'm friends with here, but the food sometimes, you know.
No, I totally get that. I mean, there's food places from back where I lived. I grew up in a town called Pearland, so there's like places like Burger Tex, Central Texas Barbecue. I mean,
what's the barbecue joint out there? The big one. It's kind of like a chain, but there's only like 3 of them.
I know there's Killen's Barbecue.
Killen's, that's it.
Killen's is legit like a few blocks away from Central Texas. Central Texas is the one that was there like since I was a kid. My parents used to take me there. But Killen's is just like a well-established dude. He's got Killen's Burgers, Killen's Steakhouse. I think multiple steakhouses, a couple, and the Killen's Barbecue. I think my parents said that they're building one near their place up in the Woodlands. So, so he's going around.
Damn, he's stretching all the way to the Woodlands. That's crazy,
dude. Good hour and a half drive just to get to like the other side of Houston. That's how it is.
Last time I was there, my mother-in-law was living like near Memorial Park.
Okay.
And to drive to Pearland for barbecue, it was at least an hour.
Yeah. I mean, even when you're I'm from Pearland, but I've also like lived in San Marcos, Texas, and like I guess that's it. Just Pearland, Pasadena type stuff. But like, or going to a show anywhere in like San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, it's an hour. You're like, you drive an hour, you're still in the city. You're still within the city limits. I mean, no matter which way you go, you drive an hour to Austin or San Antonio, you're still in Katy. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy. That is the mark though. It's like, once you get past Katy, you're like, all right, I'm out. I'm good.
Yeah. But then the drive home at night, you hit Katy and you're like 30 minutes from your house because there's no traffic. Just clear streets. I mean, it's once I would always get tired, like a little like sleepy on those drives. But then the second I hit Houston, I'm like, all right, I'm almost home. 30 minutes. We got this. We
can do it. Just turn up the 2000s emo music really loud and just sing along.
I think since there was no one on the road and I'm like, you know, I'm always aware. I mean, there's still sometimes people speeding and shit, but I would just play whatever music I wanted to hear and just blast it and just chill.
Yeah. Just vibe out.
You just gotta sit with the vibes.
Are you drinking any coffee?
I'm not. I drank a coffee yesterday, but don't have my coffee machine set up here.
Oh no.
I know. It's travesty.
I mean, where you work though, do you fuck with the coffees?
So working at Wawa, they do have the limited time stuff. When I first started working there, they had this it's like a caramel cream one. Okay. That was really good. But right now they just, I think last week, started doing like a blueberry cobbler. Ooh. which I think it's like they like do it regularly. but it's like a limited thing. And I tried that 2 days ago, and I was like, okay, I really like this.
I would try that. Is it like a
Yeah,
latte, like a blueberry cobbler kind of flavored latte, or is it just a coffee that's flavored like
it's
blueberry?
just, it's just the coffee. It's just
Okay.
the beans,
Yeah.
just
That's
drip.
interesting.
Yeah, it's I've tried like the regular and everything, and it's like all the coffee's good. I haven't tried like the Cuban or the we have like a Cuban, like a dark roast. I haven't tried
Mhm.
those, but tried the regular, tried the limited ones, and I really like it. But I mean, Wawa coffee's so good, but then like you go to the other shops and you taste the difference.
Oh yeah, of course. It's like night and day.
Yeah,
Wawa is like if you're in a pinch and you're on the road.
yeah, and that's definitely. I mean, it's the cheap coffee that we have a lot of regulars that come in, and I know they come in because they're like a quick stop on the road.
Mhm.
You're not waiting in a line for people and this and that. You don't have to get you don't have to do a whole theatrical thing just to get a cup.
I have something not Wawa. Um, it's sent to me from Monogram. Isn't that a cool bag? It's cool.
I like the
Um,
bag.
yeah, it's got little designs on it and shit.
I was
So,
with my friend yesterday, and he showed me a bag of coffee from Elixir.
oh yes, sir.
Yeah,
Who is
he
the
was like,
friend?
it's my friend Joe. He drums in one of the bands or the band that I started up here since I moved
Okay,
up. But
okay.
we were at his house because we played a show in Jersey City yesterday, and he like showed us a coffee, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, doing that podcast tomorrow. And he was like, oh dude, just, I was like, I don't know that much about coffee, like per se. And he was like, you got to bring up Elixir.
You do got to bring up
It worked.
Elixir.
And it
Yeah,
worked. Yeah.
that's like the buzzword kind of like any like in beer and stuff like that. There's all these like buzzwords. If you
Yeah.
there's a certain group of roasters that if you just say it, then people are like, oh, this guy knows. Like you could be in
Yeah.
a conversation and nothing and be like Onyx, and there people are like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Joe's an interesting dude because he had, okay. So since we started practicing at his place, he has a lot of like, he's a Soulsborne dude. He's got a lot of like swords for no
Okay,
reason.
right.
Just he's got like a basement with like 7 swords. I think he's probably got more in his room, and he shops at like Salvation Army
Okay,
type. He's a thrifter. He's like
yeah.
he likes all the old school stuff, which I respect, and it's you know he's a character.
Man, thrifting is so difficult for me now. Like I
Uh
used to
huh.
do it when I was in college, of course, because you don't have any money. You can get
Mm-hmm.
like a members only jacket for $3.
Yeah.
You're cool. Now I go and I'm like, these pants have one wear left in them and they are going to disintegrate.
I used to thrift a little bit, not for like the resale. I just like seeing what they have. I also
Mm-hmm.
used to collect CDs because I used to have a like my I used to have a truck that had only CDs, no aux cable. So I had to just stock up on CDs. So I would always go to like Goodwill and be like, let's look at that, check out some of the books, check out some of the appliances.
Yeah.
Some of the I mean, dude, some of the stuff they have, I'm like, damn, I'm surprised.
I got a
They got like
favorite mug from there.
yeah. Well, and now since I moved, I started looking at like the just like plates and like bowls and stuff, and I'm like, I'm surprised no one's taken these. Some of the stuff, it's like, especially like a lot of the vintage antique stuff is starting to come back. I'm surprised no one's rocking with that. But I used to do shirts and pants, dude. One time I found it was a pajama set of the Hawaiian Punch, dude.
Yes.
And it's an old picture that my friend has where I just like took a picture in the mirror and just had the whole Hawaiian Punch fit. He loves to bring that one up. But my first it was like my first or second time ever at Goodwill. I found a Sodom shirt for like $5, and I don't remember seeing a date on there, but I'm pretty sure, listen, I don't care how vintage it was. It felt vintage, and like, I'm pretty sure the tag was vintage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I was just like, damn, that's kind of crazy that I found that.
Did you
And I
turn
still
it?
wear it to this day.
You do?
So yeah, it has holes in it. Like it's starting to get holes in it, but I still wear it,
I'm surprised you went and
very,
turned it
very
around on
frequently.
Depop.
Oh no. I got a couple shirts that I'm trying to not turn around on Depop, but my brother, my cat just knocked over my box for my common rider. He's sleeping on a couple of trash bags and like plastic bags, and
And
just got comfortable and knocked it over.
I'll give a shout out. I didn't say it's Monogram, the coffee I'm drinking. I just want to shout them out because they sent me some shit, which is super nice of them.
That's super
and
tight.
Is Visitacion Munoz. Visitacion Munoz filter. It's like from Honduras. Tastes like lime and white grape, and it's like super acidic and good, really juicy.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's one thing that I'm trying to get more into coffee. And man, the lime sounds interesting. I've seen some people mess around with jalapenos.
Yep.
And that just seems crazy to me. But I respect the grind.
It's weird. So what I would say is try an espresso tonic. Have you had that before?
I don't think so. No.
It's good. You gotta hook up with you gotta get hooked up with Gage.
Yeah, Gage.
He'll put
Gage
you
is
on.
Gage is my coffee expert. I think it was like it was like a month ago. I remember I got home from work and I saw he was up, and I joined the coffee Discord he's got, and I was just like, I messaged him like, I was like, when funds get better, I need you to hook me up, because if anyone knows coffee, I feel like it's Gage.
Gage knows, and I'm surprised at how much, because he's been in coffee for like a little bit, but like enough, and he kind of just deep dove, and now he's just crazy. Like he'll post things sometimes where I'm like, how do you even know that?
Yeah, and he posts every single day. He's making something every single day. I think with him is, I think he's just dedicated. You know what I mean? I think he was when you find something you're interested in, and you're like, I want to know more. You start deep diving, and you're like, I don't want to stop. I think that's Gage. Gage don't want to stop.
He don't want to stop.
No.
And he's an edge brother, so he's like, the cocktails and things aren't so much for him, but he's able to just like invest all that money into the coffee.
And like he started inspiring me, because he's posting like the Facebook Marketplace finds that he does, and I'm like, man, let me look at Facebook Marketplace in my area.
Yeah. You can find some stuff out there.
Yeah.
I don't ever do Marketplace because I have a hookup for wholesale stuff.
Oh wow, okay.
But it's because
I'm sure the market out there is a little bit different.
It's more like espresso based, and I do filter coffee for the most part. So, but I also work at a cafe. Like I work for a coffee roaster.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm able to get, like, if I need something, I'll just be like, hey, how much is it at wholesale? And they just throw it in with the order, which is nice. But then sometimes if you can find it used, it's way cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, check on you guys check Marketplace. You can get it. I have a friend that shops exclusively for clothes on Marketplace.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
That's pretty crazy. But I mean, if you find a deal's a deal.
I don't know. That feels just like extra Gen Z shit. Like, I don't know if I can get on board with that.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, for like my clothes, if I find a band shirt I want, like on Depop, I'll do it. If, they post something on Big Cartel, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. Other than that, though, I literally just buy Dickies. I have I have like a couple pairs of shoes that like I rotate depending on like what my like the color palette I'm
Yeah.
wearing, but yeah, I can't be shopping like that, and especially not on Marketplace. That's crazy.
He has some crazy finds.
I'm sure. I mean, what was it? I saw yesterday there was like a life size grandma statue on Facebook Marketplace,
You
wanted
gotta buy that.
for free. Yeah, it looks it looks real. That's terrifying. You're having no house guests.
No, you gotta get it. You put it, it's like a conversation starter. So you put it in the living room. Who is that?
Yeah,
Yeah. You can,
that's how you get people to leave the place immediately, so you can have free time.
there you go. That's fine. Bring out the grandma statue.
Yeah.
It's over. Um, what would you say that, like, since moving to Philly, that you miss the most about like Houston? And if you say kolaches, you win the game. But
Oh man, they're okay. Yes, okay. Now that you're throwing kolaches in the mix,
because I'll tell you, I miss kolaches. I'm not even from there.
oh, you know what? Breakfast tacos also, especially
Yes.
brisket breakfast tacos.
Come on. Come on.
That's
Somebody needed to say it.
that's that's a that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. They do the egg and cheese, bacon, egg and cheese, but man, you do a brisket egg with the salsa verde.
It's like a song.
Done.
It's like a steak and eggs portable
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
verde. Oof. Come
man.
on.
Yeah, that okay. But okay, so given food, I'm gonna say just food because brisket tacos, kolaches, the barbecue. I feel like I don't know. I miss all the barbecue and like the burgers and stuff. I mean, there's still really good food here, but I mean,
Mhm.
dude, honestly, uh, easy answer. I really miss my friends, straight up. That's the thing that they always tell you it's gonna get you,
Mhm.
but like, man, especially being away from my band and having to like get flights to go down to see them, that's rough.
Damn.
That's rough. But growing up, you know what I mean? They always say growing up, and that'll do it.
It's the growing pains.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you. Damn. That's very sentimental. I remember when I moved, how much it was like hard to meet new people, especially in a city that like most people speak French.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, where do I even find hardcore shows? Because I don't even know what this poster says. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
At least now it's I feel like now people I feel like now I don't know as much of like for like Quebec, but I know there's a few like hardcore pages that are like Canadian based.
mhm.
I can't think of it off the top of my head, but
Be about it.
be about it. Yeah,
She's from here.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen be about it post and like just like other like Toronto and stuff. Well, I feel like Toronto also has like French speaking. No?
Nah, not really.
Okay.
They kind of revolt against it.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
I've seen. I feel like I've seen. I mean, I'm a guy, so I like looking at Google Maps for no reason.
What is that?
It's an unspoken thing, I think, but just looking at Google Maps and just looking and seeing what's around is really fun. But I think I've seen like because I'm doing some shows coming up with Ankle Biter and they're playing Toronto, and I was like, let me look up Toronto and see like what's around the area. And I think I saw a couple, or maybe I'm tripping.
Where y'all playing in Toronto?
They just sent it to me.
Yeah, pull it up for me, Jamie.
Yeah, let me.
Let's go.
Okay, they're Toronto Style Bar.
Oh, yo, that spot. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, that's
Uh,
yes. It's a
we
hallway.
Wow.
Like it's not big. We played there, and it was literally 100 people, and it was like people hanging out the side of the door.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Because we're playing with, uh, I mean, I don't know when this is getting aired. I don't know, like, if I could say, but we're playing with bands like that are from that area that I know,
Yeah.
like, have that grasp. So I know it's going to be like, it should be well over
It's
100
going to be a
people.
good show. Like I
Yeah.
already know. If you're playing
Yeah.
Toronto style, that means that the person booking it knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they'll stack it up. I already know.
I,
You don't have to,
I
you don't
feel
have to
like,
spoil anything.
yeah, I feel like a lot of the people that Ankle Biter like is in talks with always knows what's going on in the scene and how to like make the best of the shows. Cause I mean, them being from like Providence, Boston, like they know like everyone that's doing everything in the Northeast right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they always get on like really good shows and make sure that like, you know, everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
Awesome out there.
I've been watching, like, I've been trying to track ankle biters kind of from when they hit the scene a couple of years ago to like now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard because now there's so many bands and it's crazy. But like I always remember being very impressed with how much I saw the name.
Yeah.
And like hearing the music and everything, it's sick. But then like I remember for a solid 6 months, all anybody was talking about, like at least once per conversation, is like ankle biter. I'm like, who are they? Like, where that do they only play like Connecticut? Like who?
Yeah,
So,
and they still get brought up in conversations that like they'll tell me about, and I'm just like, damn, that's crazy, and like so sick that like, I mean, when they were like telling me about it when they were in the like very early talks of that Have Heart reunion in Brooklyn, and I was like, I cannot believe that. I mean, like they were like getting called from Pat Flynn like personally, like, you know, that's people dream about that stuff.
I dream about that. That's crazy. uh, was Have Heart like super important to you?
So me getting into music, I feel like, I mean, I came in, I'm gonna be honest, 100%. I came in the pop punk route. So like
Okay.
getting in for me was like my friend showed me, like, I always liked like alternative, like, you know, hard music, but I feel like, my friends, you know, showed me like neck deep Wonder Years type stuff. And then funnily enough, the one band I used to look up bands that just had like crazy names, crazy album art, stuff like that. I remember I used to like go to this, I don't know if it was like a music review website, but I stumbled upon a leak of Weekend Nachos Still. And I saw that name and I was like, that is a really weird name for a band. Let me listen to it. And I was just blown away by the music. So I think from there, I found like, you know, Nails. I mean, you know, the pop punk kids also know about Backtrack, Expire, you know, when they were around. So just finding like that aggressive music and then like going to shows. And especially I think Houston at the time was in a really good spot. We like had so many venues, so many bands. I don't know. It was like a really welcoming scene. And then I think right before the right before COVID, like the COVID shutdown, I think we had like a little bit of a dip. But then now that like all these new kids are like discovering hardcore, and like even some of the people that were around when I started are like starting to like, you know, lift these kids up and like go up there with them. I like Corpse Pile. I mean, I used to be really I used to help Jason, who is the singer for Corpse Pile. I used to help book shows with him sometimes. Thinking back on it, I did not do as much as I should have. But we just like seeing how he used to like, I never thought like Jason would be in a band, and now Jason's in Corpse Pile, and Corpse Pile is like one of the best bands we have seen in a minute.
Huge.
Yeah, super awesome. I love those dudes.
Was So like I know like the Omerta guys, like
Mhm.
Gus, and then I one band that I really, really love from Houston is From Joy.
Are they from Houston? I know about them. Obviously, I mean the Joys.
There's so
We
many joys.
there, especially in Texas. There's from Strange Joy, From Joy, Slow Joy.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a Slow Joy.
Yeah, Slow Joy. I think he's in like an indie
Okay.
dude from Dallas. But yeah, I know from what was it? They did some show like a couple months ago that Glare was on, and it was like From Joy. I think Slow Joy was on, and I was like, man, we didn't get asked.
That's crazy.
They
You
could have
you
they could
needed
have they
the
could
full
have.
bill.
I know. I'm waiting to see if one day we do like a not like a fest, but like a little meetup of all the joys. Just call it like a joyous evening, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think there's also we're friends with Squint, and I think one of them has also just started a band that's like something joy.
That's crazy.
So I think if we could get them to come out, I think we could all get we could all have fun.
You got to invite. They're not from Texas, but they have to reunite from North Carolina. You have to just get Joy.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I was getting into that type of music, Joy would tour a lot, and Dwell from North Carolina,
Come
they would
on.
tour a lot. Love Jacob, love Ryan. Uh, they yeah. I became quick friends with Dwell, and Joy was also super awesome to see.
I saw Dwell live once. Was it Dwell or it was it was Dwell? Because I was at a audio feed one year when they were still on Blood and Ink,
Mm-hmm.
before all of that, and then they played. It was like every band like that, like Problem of Pain played, like all the bands from the Midwest, like Household and those guys.
Yeah,
It was crazy seeing like it's crazy seeing like Life's Question and bands like that, and but seeing what they were before, like Poured Out, Household, like
oh
all
yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
bands is crazy.
I remember. I think Ridge. I remember him from Poured Out,
Mm-hmm.
and like when he was starting like New World Man and Life's Question and everything. I was like, that's super cool to see. Like he's still like he just grew as a musician and just
Yeah,
went above and beyond that.
yeah, but those bands were like very important in that time, I think. And now we
Yeah,
have bands like Chamber, New World Man. Um, yeah, even Last Question. I really like the new stuff that Last Question is doing is really good.
yeah. I think everything that they're doing with like Flat Spot, everything that Flat Spot's putting out is super sick right now.
Shout out Flat Spot. So good. Um, but yeah, I speaking of the joys, Strange Joys, y'all started in like 2022. So it's kind of like was it like a post pandemic band or were y'all already in the works trying to get some stuff going?
So Strange Joy is really funny. I think I wasn't in the band at the initial conception. I joined I think February 2022 when I moved back to Houston from college.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Jonah hit me up. I was actually like I have gone through like many bands and they didn't really work out and stuff. And I was honestly like, man, I think I'm going to give up like playing music per se, unless like people need me on like one offs. Like I'm going to like give up on like starting bands. And then Jonah hit me up and was like, yo, we need a guitarist for Strange Joy. Do you want to play? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And so like I remember going to the first practice and like meeting everyone and like we were like playing through the songs. And then Jonah had like a list of like 15 shows and he was like, yeah, here's 15 shows that we're playing from like February to like September. And I was like, damn. So this is like a legit band that's like playing shows. I think since the conception though, I think it was always just like I know they always wanted to have fun. And I know that's like honestly what we're still doing, but I think it was always just like hardcore, but also like take influences from other places. So it's not just like the typical hardcore sound, you know. Uh, before I started, like Jonathan DeCuba, who was the drummer for the band, did a lot of the writing. He's like still doing stuff for Trembler.
Mm-hmm.
He brought that like some of like the indie stuff. So like people really like Black Hole Love,
Mm-hmm.
the song Black Hole Love, and like that song I think just like shines a lot on him. But also Jonah's songwriting, like his lyricism is crazy still to this day. Sometimes I'll be listening and I'm like, I didn't catch this part, and it's just I'm like, damn, that dude cooked.
Go ahead, Cook King.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the writing just as a whole
Uh-huh.
because hardcore can get so repetitive and boring. Like, no
Yeah.
offense, I've been in hardcore for a long time.
No,
And
I mean, yeah, I've written songs that I've after a while was like that's kind of repetitive, or like
mhm.
damn, that didn't hit the mark. Or a lot of like songs that it's like sometimes you think you're like, man, that didn't like stand the test of time, I guess, you
Yeah,
know.
what y'all have going on is like, I think is so next level creative. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly can put my finger on influences, but I don't know if I could just line it up against another band that's really been around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, shout out to Sunday Drive because I feel like they have really specialized in signing bands that do different things.
Yeah. I think I've been a fan of Jonathan. I think since SDR1. SDR1 was Frontage, and that's around when I started getting into music. I think like this type of like the DIY type of music. And ever since that, like he signed. I mean, I didn't. I joined the band later, but Petty Thief is on that label, and I've always like kept an eye on him, like on Jonathan, and like we've always like been in contact, and I think the stuff he does is amazing, and I think what he's doing now, it's like it's awesome to see how much he's grown as a person and as a label.
Mm-hmm.
Because I agree with what you're saying. A lot of the new bands he's signing is not just like cookie cutter. And not saying they were before, but
Right.
it's not like a formula. It's like bands that could play on any bill and it works. It's bands that are like breaking the mold of like what they get labeled as. I mean, like a band could get labeled as shoegaze, but they're kind of much more than shoegaze, in
Yeah.
what they're doing.
That's why I keep telling Cloned Apparition. I don't know if you know this band.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, I keep telling them to like go after it because that's who they should be on. They should be on Sunday Drive. And I don't know who needs to hear this. If Jonathan's going to listen, you should sign Cloned Apparition. I'm just going to throw that out. Just because
I'll,
they
I'll,
do have they got the good stuff.
I'll, when this gets posted, I'll link it to him with the
Just straight
eyes.
link it. Be like, yeah,
I'll be like,
hey
oh,
boss,
you should check this timestamp. I think you might,
yo, you got a shout
might,
out. Just
we might be talking about something that might interest you, maybe.
But yeah, I keep pestering them. I'm like, just send your demo with $100 bill like wrapped up in it, and that's the old school way, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I do like the I'm getting tired of the term adjacent, hardcore adjacent, and so I do like that. It's almost becoming normalized that bands don't. There's not really like a hardcore band. It's like bands that have hardcore and then they have grunge or they have the shoegaze or they have this metalcore thrown in. Like, big fan of Broken Vow. And I feel like they've done that really well where it's hardcore, but you can tell that they just really like metalcore. And so they throw that in there as well.
I think that's one thing that we still, I mean, Strange Joy obviously tries to keep that to this day, is like, we will always label ourselves as a hardcore band, but we take our influences from like indie music or grunge or like just other stuff, just like, cause it's always good to like have like a have like a loose label, you know, have that loose label, but like also build upon that.
Mm-hmm.
Do more than what you're saying you are.
That's a great, just nice little clip right there. Do more than what you're saying you are. Um,
Yeah.
that's great. Like in Bandcamp, when you put your thing and it's like, what's your overarching label, and then what's your sub label? It's like
Yeah.
left field, just crazy. That's you want to be that.
I
You just got to be
I
the
th-
crazy.
I think when we don't have the same band camp that we used to, but I think we had it. It was literally just hardcore Houston, Texas, as far as I remember.
You
It
ain't
might have
getting
been
no
different,
clicks through
but
that. You ain't getting no clicks through that one.
but I mean, I feel like we've grown a lot since, and I think a lot of especially in Houston, the like the resurgence of the scene is bigger and better than ever. Seeing like starting in the band and seeing like a couple of like our friends moving, and then now the last show we played in Houston was the show like the day before I moved
Mm-hmm.
in December, and man, it was free show in a parking lot of East End Barber where you know Jonah works, and that was like crazy. I think it felt like there was like 250 kids in a packed out parking lot, and everyone's moving and stage diving, singing the words. It's really cool to see. I mean, a lot of the songs I believe Jonah wrote about like his wife and his kids, and like, you know, just like I think more grievances with like friends and stuff like that. But the way he articulates it, I think many people have like many different interpretations of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that also helps us is like people can interpret it however they like, and they get the enjoyment of seeing that. So
Yeah. It does have so much like good emotional value. Like just
yeah.
even listening to the music, you can hear it and it really does catch the attention, like his vocal delivery. But then when you see it live, like I watched the Hate 56 from was it the Calgary show, I think, or something like that. It was a
Fly was it
or
flyover?
Act Like You
It was
Know,
act like you know.
or
Yeah, it was
flyover.
flyover
Sorry, yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but watching that video, I was like, he's selling it. Like he's just selling it. Like it's crazy. There's moments where the mic's not even close enough and it's just like screaming into the air, but I love that.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me of the old like youth crew days where it was like say a line, throw the mic down, say a line, throw a mic down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I whenever I do get the opportunity to see Strange Joy live, I know that it's going to be like a set that I will go off for because
That show in particular was crazy because and he still does it now, but Jonah will always like jump around and like move around as much as he can during the set. But the day after that, I think, or no, we played on Sunday. It was later that night was the second to last Pummel set,
mm-hmm.
and Jonah dove off the stage into like nobody and like snapped his ankle.
Oh no.
So after that, we like couldn't play shows as much, and like we had to like take a second, and but now that he's recovering pretty well, and I think he's getting back into the groove of like
Mm-hmm.
jumping and moving. But we've always like I feel like every set we've always had fun. We've always had fun and like just gave it our all
Right.
every set.
With the Power Pop EP, is there plans to tour on it more, or is there a follow up with like tour? Is Strange Joy something that is more of like that project and just playing shows when you can, or are y'all planning to do like the touring thing?
I want to do the touring thing. I know we have people all over Texas. So, and like I'm out here. So touring is like, if we get a really good offer, we're obviously going to make it work. I mean, we're touring we're doing a string of shows in the end of May with like Liberty and Justice and Slugger from California.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing Allen, Texas, which we haven't done before. I'm super excited about that. I know people have been asking for us for a while. and we just started talking about the potential of doing the East Coast. I've always brought up the Midwest, like Springfield, Bloomington, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, have always asked for us, and we've always wanted to go. And I mean, there was even times where I was like talking to people like, we're doing this, and then like a couple weeks out, something happens, we can't do it, and I'm, but I really would want to tour off it, but I know like we're all busy people,
right?
And it's just how it is. I mean, but we are in the process of writing. I mean, I have like 10 riffs that I told the guys. I said, when I come down, I mean, we're putting us in a room for a day, and we're making business.
Yeah, that's it. Just hit the record button.
Yeah, we have like a couple of like songs that we have like kind of fleshed out with each other, and I know we're talking about like the potential of like, we want to do an LP, but I don't know if maybe doing another EP would be best. Or I know we're trying to record like 2 songs to just do like, a little promo thing and just see what we can do. I know people have been, we went to the West Coast not nearly as long as we wanted to in 2022 with Pummel. But yeah, I'd like to tour as much, but also, everyone being busy in that band, and then like having to do, some shows with Ankle Biter. I'm getting my tour itch scratched, but
right.
I'd like to tour with Strange Joy as much as I can.
Well, I know, because it was Strange Joy, you've got that input, and it's like, that's your thing. But I know with like Ankle Biter, it's more so you want in the set, you play it, which is it's still fun because you're still playing shows and touring. But I know how it is like when you want to put like your brand on the music that like you want to do. So
yeah, playing the shows with like my band, that though I wasn't at the beginning, I still think of it as like, I still think of it as like one of like my bands,
Well, like I said, hopefully sooner than later I get to see Strange Joy live. I don't want to have to come down to Texas to see it. I will.
No.
I will do that, but it would be more fun to see it, closer to home, even in Montreal, because we have a lot of bands that float in that same kind of like space as y'all do. And so I would really like to see a bill with all those bands kind of on it together. Like, do you know the band Spite House?
Yes.
On NMZ. They're from here, and they're good friends. Like them, Cloned Apparition. We have a lot of those kind of bands that they get put on these like hardcore shows where they do well, but they don't like, it's just a weird vibe, like a weird switch up.
Yeah.
Everybody here wants to hear breakdowns, and
I feel like every scene goes through that. Every scene goes through it's like hardcore, like 2-step hardcore or whatever. And then it hits a point where everyone just wants to just beat each other's ass. Everyone just wants to crowd kill and just wants to hear the mosh part.
Yeah.
But every scene goes through that, and every scene goes back to we want fast hardcore, we want to stage dive, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see that because when I started going to shows, I mean, Houston didn't really stage dive as much, but everyone was just moshing to have fun. And then there was a point where it was just beat down shows, but now it's like back to like a mix. There's still beat down shows. There's still like heavy hardcore being played, but there's also still fast hardcore on the same bill, and people know what to do for all of those bands.
Right. And I really like that. Like, I remember when it was very mixed bill, you would have 2-step bands, breakdowns, and then you would even throw in like maybe an emo-y kind of singy band, which is cool.
Yeah.
And every time we try to do that here, it does well because the scene is doing well, but it can sometimes have this weird vibe. And I would really like people to get past that and just, you like what you like, but also respect the other music. It's good.
Yeah. It's keep an open, it's like keep an open eye and ear. And like, if you see something that like looks weird, that doesn't mean it's like wrong.
Right.
Just, I mean, there's a lot of things just like that I've seen that I'm like, I don't really agree with that per se, but like he's having fun. He's not disrupting anything. I mean, just let the kids be kids. Especially, yeah, just let the kids be kids.
That's it. Just
Yeah.
let them do their thing. I'm old, so I just kind of sit back and, do what I'm told, and then
Yeah.
let the kids have their space.
Instead of like, I know, I don't know if my friend, if Nick said it, but Nick from Ankle Biter made a post a couple of days ago saying like, don't bring down the kids. We were all there. We were all kids at some point. We were all wrong. We were all making mistakes and stuff. Teach, like, help them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just shut them out from the scene, because no one wants to get shut out from the scene, especially the one that they love.
Right. It's more like lead by example.
Yeah. Lead by example, and also like give them a hand. I mean, especially like, I know there's a few bands coming up in the Northeast now that are like a lot of people's first shows, a lot of people's first bands, not first shows, but like first bands, like first time playing music. And like, it could be rough for some of the people, but like, just have fun.
Yeah.
We all are here to have fun. No one's here to I mean, there might be some people here to make a quick buck, but we know who they are, and they're
good luck.
We know who they are. They're not the real core heads, but yeah, just have fun with the music that you want to play.
Yeah. Like music's about, hopefully it's about chilling with friends, find some people that you have things in common with, and write music that you just enjoy playing. Like that should be.
Music has always been, since its inception, music in general, since its inception, has always been an expression of emotions. Hardcore is a more aggressive expressive emotions, but I feel like it's done by people that are level-headed and like welcoming. So it's a cool dynamic.
Yeah.
Aggressive people writing aggressive music, but they're the nicest person you've ever met. That's kind of awesome. That's kind of awesome.
It's just a bunch of like puppies writing really like a Rottweiler, how they'll show you their teeth and bark at you, but then you go to pet them and they're sweet.
Yeah. Oh, and then they want belly rubs.
That's it. That is essentially hardcore.
And that's why the pit bull is the most used dog on band merch.
Yeah.
Because it shows the style of the music, but you're also a little nod. They're nice people.
It's we identify.
Yeah.
Let me hear what you think about what are the most underrated. Give me like 3 to 5 underrated bands from Houston right now.
Ooh, underrated?
Yeah. What are some bands that people need to know about that they don't?
I'll always say Substance.
Okay.
Substance is that's a fellow Pearland head. That's my dog Derek. I love Derek. Substance rocks, Juicebox rocks. Jess, the vocalist, has done almost every single tattoo I have. And I mean, I don't want to. I would say probably the last one, Shock Treatment, because I think what they're doing is super interesting. They have a lot of like noise elements. And they're all interesting people. It's like people that I never thought would like be in a band together. Like some of the people like I never thought would be in a band together, but they're all super, super nice, super chaotic. It's crazy. And there's a lot of bands that like I haven't seen. Like a lot of these new bands I haven't seen as much since like starting the moving process. But I mean, last year we did that This City Is Going to Kill Me compilation with like, not, I wouldn't say every band from Texas or like every band from Houston, but like a lot of bands. Antitrust, Blood Money, Cable, Corpse Pile, Mexican Coke. Scourge, The Burden. I mean,
Scourge is sick.
yeah, Scourge has always and will always be amazing.
So just good. It's just good. I don't even know how to say a word in that.
I thought it was crazy when they it's like my favorite Scourge song, and I can't think of it right now. But they re-recorded. Now I have to look it up. This is this is embarrassing for me. Freedom Denied. The song Freedom Denied, they had back on a promo back in the day, and then they re-recorded it for that LP. And when it comes on, it just sounds like a demon, dude. Something's wrong.
I heard the full length, like when the LP came out, I was like, oh yeah, this is sick. But Hardcore Up Your Ass is like,
Hardcore Up Your Ass was crazy.
That's like a top tier. I think when I started listening to it in like end of 2022 maybe, and it was just like, holy shit, this is crazy.
I think that was right. I think that was around the time that I moved back to Houston, and I just started started joining Strange Joy, was playing shows with them, and I saw Scourge play. Man, I want to say it was one of the the South Florida bands come through Texas. It's like a homecoming reunion. Like I think the gig I saw was Scourge, Day by Day. I don't think it was Distort, and I don't think it was Deflect either. I couldn't remember, but it's like always like homies showing up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when they started doing Hardcore Up Your Ass, and man, those songs are crazy.
They're sick.
Old God's Return.
Yes. I didn't even know Scourge was from Houston. Like I just remember listening to it, and then I was like, "Have y'all heard Scourge?" And my bandmates were like, "Do you mean the biggest band on TikTok right now?" Because it was like some clip went really big on like Instagram Reels or TikTok or something.
Really, I didn't even know that.
I'm not on TikTok, so I didn't know, but they were showing me. And but Distort is coming up here in like a month with Milspec.
Yeah, we're I think the last day that Milspec's on is Philly, and my new band Headless World is opening that show. So I was
What's that sound like? What's Headless World sound like?
It's just fast hardcore. I think it's two of the members' first time being in a band, like aggressive band, but our vocalist first time being in a band in general. But he's always been around.
Mm-hmm.
So we just had we're just like, let's just do fast hardcore. And the songs we have now, I would say they're fast hardcore, but they're more like, I would say it's more like we kind of wrote them with like Poison Idea in mind.
Okay.
But a lot of the new songs that we're starting to write are like 30 seconds long. Like me and the vocalists love a lot of like power violence.
Mm-hmm.
I love gore grind.
Okay.
So that like just fast, aggressive, in your face type stuff. But like after playing these shows and seeing like how we all play as a band, I think the fast can really elevate. Because the vocalist Max, I didn't know this. He's a caveman behind the mic. He loves moving, and just like yesterday when we played Jersey City, he like grabbed some dude by the head and like fucking pushed him into the pit and was like you're moving.
That's sick.
He's a theatrical one. He's awesome. That's the guy that I go get coffee with.
Okay. Shout out Max.
He took me to this, I think it's a local Philly chain. He was telling me OCF.
I don't know OCF.
I think it's OCF. I don't know, probably OCF Coffee House or something like that. But
I'll have to look into it. I don't know OCF. I've never been to Philly. And that's probably not good. as somebody who enjoys hardcore?
When I moved out here, one of my first questions was, what are the coffee places?
That's
Because
good.
I know Grindcore House is out here. That's like
Yep.
the iconic one, but a lot of people I see are just like, it's not that good. Gage told me some places that were like on the opposite side of Philly. They were like in Kensington, like West Kensington and stuff like that.
Yep.
I think I bookmarked a couple of the places he told me about because
Gage is gonna send you, and he's gonna be like, drive like an hour to go get coffee because that's his thing.
here's the thing. I would do it if Gage told me it's the correct. Since talking to Gage, I've been wanting to drive to Baltimore for coffee.
You should.
I think I know Old Timo's one over here that I've heard about, and Reanimator.
Reanimator's good.
I joined the Reanimator point, like reward point thing, and I've never even been. But I'm getting my stocks in before I go.
Yeah. How close are you to Newark, Delaware?
I think it's less than an hour. Let me look.
Because you can go to Little Goat.
Little Goat. Okay.
That's where Molly works.
Okay. Yeah, Newark. Oh, that's walking 14 hours. That's not bad. 51 minutes.
That's not bad considering.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like 51 minutes.
Yeah, so maybe not. That's a little far for coffee.
I mean, here's the thing. If I'm ever like, that's a good halfway point between here and Baltimore. So next time I go to Baltimore for a show, if I could leave early enough, get there before they close, I could get a coffee in before. Because there's a lot of shows in Baltimore. All the Sinister Feeling dudes are putting on crazy shows.
Shout out Ethan.
And Ethan might be one of the goats of all time. Top 10 goat for me. We're
gonna make a tier list right now of all the goats.
Yeah, he's always putting on crazy shit, always starting crazy shit. He's a wild dude, but yeah, I think they're playing a show like in 3 weeks when they come back from tour. And anytime Sinister Feeling plays, I'm like, near me, I'm like, I gotta go. They're amazing.
We're like putting something together in May for the East Coast. And we hit up Ethan. We're like, yo, is there any way for a Baltimore show? And he's like, nah, dude, I'm putting on this big demo core show like the next day.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right.
That's another thing that I've seen is a lot of people are going in advance. Like a lot of people are planning these stuffs in advance. And I've seen some places like Springfield, Illinois, as like they were like, as small as we are, we cannot do as many shows as like we are getting asked. Like we unfortunately cannot do a lot of these shows. Like we have to like kind of be a little picky, and that sucks, but that's like just how it is. Like they can't oversaturate their market.
That's a good problem to have though.
Yeah. I think they agree. I mean, it's having a scene that's so popping right now and that everyone wants to go to. Everyone that hits the Midwest has to stop in Springfield, Illinois. That's a good problem to have. Dumb Records.
Dumb Records. That's it.
Dumb Records rocks. They have I think a giant green elephant on the outside.
Amazing.
Yeah, I played that I think in August. And it's just like the vibes that all of those kids have. That's the biggest friend gathering of all time is any show they put on. There's no drama ever. No drama. They're all just like stoked that hardcore exists where they're at.
Yeah, I was talking to Evan from Prevention and he was just telling me everything that they had going on out there. I was like, this sounds like a dream place to live in Springfield, like of all places. And he's like, yeah, he's like, it's a lot of kids first time, but then they're like learning how to mosh really quick and stuff.
Yeah, that's another thing is like, I feel like they're all new, but they all already know what to do, how to act, how to react. They hear a riff, they're stage diving or they're moshing. It's so awesome.
Crazy.
It's so awesome out there.
I love that. I mean, the Midwest is notorious for working hard, keeping things, grounded.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that that's it's just integrated. For some reason, though, there's places I've been recently where I was like, "Is this the first time that you have ever heard a two-step riff?"
Yeah, there's been some shows that I'm like, man, this is a two-step part, but people aren't two-stepping. It's crazy.
Why are you moshing in the two-step part? This is crazy.
Yeah, it happens, man.
Do you like when it's like a mosh riff, but the person's two-stepping, but like really slow? Have you seen that?
I have. I think that's kind of, honestly, yeah, I think that's pretty funny. I think it's like listening to like stuff like gore grind or grindcore and like hearing how fast it is and just seeing people like forcefully mosh to it is kind of funny. Because I saw someone yesterday do like the most aggressive and fast two-step I've ever seen someone do. And I was just like, that's just wild to pull out. Like in the middle of like, it was a really small venue, the one we played yesterday, but it was just like aggressive, fast two-step. And I was just like, okay, I fuck with the vision.
That's crazy energy. That's like crackhead energy right there.
That's some chaotic energy that I was like, that was like chaotic good. I was like, okay, he's in it. He's in it for the heart. I respect that.
He's showing his support. He's trying to juice it up.
He wasn't putting the beat in his mind. He was just having it. He was just having fun.
It's got white monster energy. That's crazy. Well, Jacob, thank you so much for chilling. I really appreciate you hanging out, talking about coffee.
Of course.
Wawa. We love it.
Wawa. Love Wawa, except for the second I have to clock in. It is not as fun anymore, but
you steal shit? You be stealing?
No, I cannot steal. They find that out. I would
never dox you like that.
No, it's sometimes if there's food that like goes out, it's like they're gonna throw it away either way. They're like, just have it, man. Yeah. just take a quick sip. Who cares?
Before we go, let me know, what's your favorite city for beans and breakdowns?
Favorite city? I gotta say Philly for beans, bro. Philly for beans, Philly for breakdowns. They got sick hardcore, two-step. They got something for everything. They got two-step. They got crowd killing. They got it all.
You like the cheesesteaks?
I still haven't had a cheesesteak. My friend's been telling me I'm a known dog enjoyer. The hot dog.
Oh yeah.
My friends are like, my friend hits me up once every like 2 weeks, like, got a dog yet? Still haven't gotten a dog, dude. It's depressing. It's depressing. When I get that dog, it's finished.
You got to get that dog in you.
Yeah, I have the dog in me. It needs another dog in him. Pause. That was crazy.
That's a bit much.
Yeah. All right, I'll cool on the dogs actually.
Yeah. I do I know that Philly has the beans and stuff. This is completely off topic, and I promise that we'll hang it up after this. Houston coffee is insane. I just have to give a shout out. I was there like 2 years ago. Blendon, Shayla, who else? Those are like the two main ones. Those are fucking amazing. Blendon was one of the best coffee experiences I ever had. So next time you go back, go to Blendon.
I'm gonna have to get a list of. I think they kind of keep it together, but I know the like Ankle Biter really likes coffee. So any city they're in, they know the spot.
Okay. Because I'm putting together a Google Maps. I know you like Google Maps. I got a Google Maps.
The maps.
Where I have like a little coffee map, especially right now. It's just like mainly the East Coast, but I have a bunch of shit in Toronto.
Okay.
So I might share it with you.
Yeah, share that with me.
I got eats too. I do a restaurant map too.
Send that to me as well. Yeah, I just love exploring shit. Like especially living up in the East Coast now, especially New York. There's no similar day in New York. You can do whatever. It's awesome.
I'm excited to go back to New York. I haven't been in a while.
Yeah.
So But yeah, Jacob, thank you so much.
Of course.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge thanks to Jacob for hanging out on the podcast. Be sure to check out music from Strange Joy on all listening platforms. Their most recent release, Power Pop, is available now. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can find out more information about the podcast by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns or on the web at beansandbreakdowns.com. Until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.